What is going on, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of the VSPN Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Van. Some of you may know, some of you who don't know me, now you know me. Okay, gotta be honest, man. Really nervous about this one. Been wanting to do this for quite some time, dude. Big fan of podcasts. I watch so many podcasts each and every week, and I've always just really wanted to do my own, and I don't know, just be heard, I guess. My take on sports and sports news and upcoming fights and all kind of shit. And we'll cover all kinds of things in this podcast, but that's usually what I'm gonna be covering. But enough about that bullshit. Let's dive right into this weekend's fights, man. UFC 254 in Abu Dhabi, Khabib versus Gaethje. If you're a fight fan, what's not to love about this fight, man? Stylistically, this is a great matchup. We all know what Khabib's game plan is. We all know what Gaethje's game plan is. It's the immovable object versus the irresistible force, or however the fuck that term goes. But that's exactly what it is. We know Khabib is going to try to get this to the ground. He's going to try to pressure Gaethje, get him up against the fence, hook him, try to ride him a little bit, tire him out. Once he finally accepts the takedown, get him to the ground, and then look to finish. On the flip side, we know Justin Gaethje, although a really good wrestling background, doesn't really use wrestling offensively. But however, he does use it defensively. So that's where the interesting part of this fight comes into play. Will Khabib be able to get Gaethje to the ground? We already know that Gaethje wants to keep this standing and trade and land those big heavy hands on Khabib. What's going to happen? I don't know. We're going to have to tune in. Personally, I think Khabib is going to find a way to get it done. Look where this guy come out of, man. AKA with Daniel Cormier, Cain Velasquez, Luke Rockhold, you name it. All the best wrestling background people that you could think of. And they all will tell you he gets them in practice. And if he's able to throw them guys around, I don't know, man. I don't see any way that he can't do the same to Gaethje. Now, that's not to say that Gaethje can't clip him on the way coming in or, something of that sort. Or, whatever. It's a fight. So many things can happen. That's why we love this sport. There's so many things that can go into this and change the outcome. You think you know what you're going to get from Khabib. You think you know what you're going to get from Gaethje. But we don't truly know until they actually get into the octagon and, throw fisticuffs. Like I said, I think Khabib's going to find a way to get it done. I'm thinking he's going to find a way to pressure Gaethje, get him up against the cage, get a hold of him, ride him for a minute, drag him down. Probably looking at I'd say like a third round submission. He really loves that rear naked choke, so I can definitely see this one ending pretty much exactly the same way as the Dustin Poirier fight. I don't see this one going the distance. If it does go the distance, it could be maybe Khabib, winning by points and just never getting to finish Gaethje. On the flip side, if Gaethje were to win this fight, I'm pretty sure we all know it's probably not going to go by. It's not going to be a decision. Okay, it's most likely going to be a KO. Although, again, I just don't see it happening, man. Khabib, 28-0, really only lost one round in his entire career. Maybe, if you want to give Conor one of those rounds. Very tough to, however you decide to score those rounds, you could give Conor a round. But even still, one round out of 28 fights. I mean, that's impressive, man. This guy is just unbelievable. He always seems to have it on his mind that he's coming in, he's going to, exactly what he says, mauls you. That's exactly what he does. The only thing that, not the only thing, but what really makes this fight really interesting is if you go back and watch the A La Quinta fight, if you remember, Khabib dominated the entirety of the fight, but every single time that he was able to get A La Quinta to the ground, A La Quinta was usually able to get back up to his feet. And from what I understand, A La Quinta does not have the same wrestling background as a Justin Gaethje. So that kind of makes things more interesting, So we'll see, but again, I don't know how many times I gotta see that. I'm just under the mindset until I see it, I'll believe it. I just do not see any way that Khabib's gonna lose this fight. If Gaethje were to win, I'm not gonna be upset about it. I love Justin Gaethje. The dude always fucking brings it. Always fucking brings it. Tell you what, do me a favor and go find me one Justin Gaethje fight that you can claim boring. I give you the answer. There is none. There absolutely is none. The dude is willing to die in that cage. He says it and he shows it, and I believe him when he says it. So this fight has all the makings of a great fight. Again, final prediction: Khabib by submission. I'm gonna go rear naked choke, 3rd round. That's my prediction. We have some other fights though to get into. Let's go to the beginning of the card. We have Magomed Ankalaev versus Ian Cutelaba. I'm not sure if I said that correctly. These guys have some fucked up names. So I'm going to just stick to calling them by their first names. Magomed versus Ian. This fight, this is the 5th time, I believe, that they have been scheduled to fight. If you remember, the first time that they fought, they were on the feet. Magomed was landing a few shots, and it looked like, in the replay at least, and in hindsight after what Ian has said, that he was just kind of like baiting him in. Like, he was pretending like he was wobbled on his feet to try to draw Magomed in and, to counter him. That's all debatable, I guess. But the referee stopped it. He thought Ian was out on his feet, and he stopped the fight. And so there's a lot of controversy surrounding that fight. So they've tried to rematch this like another 4 fucking times, but it's always something that ends up happening. I want to say Ian tested positive twice for COVID. I think Magomed might have tested positive one time also. So this has been rescheduled at least 4 or 5 times for sure. Hopefully we finally get this fight this time. I think we will. I mean, I feel like if something was going to happen, it would have already occurred at this point in time. But we'll see. My fight prediction for that is, despite being Russian, and we have this stereotype about Russians where they all want to wrestle you and take you to the ground and just control you. That's not really the case with Magomed. He's more of a striker, which is just it's kind of surprising, I guess would be the word. And he's legit, man. He's a real problem for this division. So I see this one, Magomed taking it by decision. I see a decision coming his way. I love Ian though, dude. do me a favor, go watch his like compilation video of all his like face-offs. This dude is so entertaining, man. I love him. Although I can't pronounce his name, I do, in fact, love him. But yeah, so I'm gonna go Magomed, third round decision. Next up, we have Lauren Murphy versus Lilia Shakurova. I don't even know who Lilia Shakurova is, so I'm going to say Lauren Murphy by decision. Moving on. We also have Alexander Volkov versus Walt Harris. This one's tough for me because I am a big Walt Harris fan. I root for the guy, and it's hard not to. All the adversity he had to go through recently, losing his, I would believe it was his stepdaughter, and you just find yourself rooting for the guy. Coming off a loss to Alistair Overeem, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember who his last fight was. I want to say it was against Overeem, though. Hard not to root for the guy, but I don't like this matchup for him, man. He has Alexander Volkov standing across the cage from him, and I just see Volkov taking it a little later into the fight, taking him to the deep waters, and eventually probably finishing him. I'd say probably around the third or fourth. Fourth. It's a 3-round fight, dummy. Third round, I could see him. TKO or something along those lines. Walt Harris does have a history of kind of gassing out in the later rounds. He's a motherfucker to deal with in that first round. All kinds of knockout power and explosiveness and all that good shit. But ultimately, I see Alexander taking him into the third round and just, putting it on him then once he's kind of worn down and tired, and TKOs most likely is what I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Alexander Volkov TKO, third round. Co-main event, another interesting fight. Robert Whittaker versus Jared Cannonier. The crazy thing about this is, I'd have to double check on this, but from what I remember seeing, the odds makers have Jared Cannonier as a slight favorite over Robert Whittaker. And that's surprising to me. The only thing I could think of is maybe they're taking Izzy's fight prediction into consideration since he's been in there with Robert Whittaker before. But I don't know, man. I don't see Cannonier pulling this one out against Robert Whittaker. I mean, y'all must have forgot. Robert Whittaker is a bad motherfucker. He was a champion for quite a while. He had a pretty good run. And, I mean, his last loss was against Israel Adesanya, arguably the pound-for-pound best fighter in the UFC right now. So, I don't know, man. Jared Cannonier, very powerful puncher. I don't want to just make it to be like he's just a powerful puncher. He's technical too, but just I see Robert Whittaker a little bit more technical than him, and knockout power as well. So I don't know, man. I don't see how everybody's leaning towards Jared Cannonier. Great fighter. Once fought at heavyweight and is now at middleweight and on a little bit of a run. His last win was about a year ago because he had like an injury to his pectoral muscle, I believe. He beat Joker, Jack Hermanson, and KO'd him. Well, TKO'd him. And we haven't seen him since. So, you never know with ring rust being a factor. That's always something you got to look into. Unless your name is Dominic Cruz, who does not believe in ring rust. That's all debatable. But Yeah, man, I see Robert Whittaker taking this, and I see him actually winning with a finish. I feel a TKO in the second round is where I'm leaning for Robert Whittaker. But ultimately, great fight. These two are. This has fight of the night written all over it. Potentially. I mean, I could see this going, the distance, but my ultimate prediction is going to be Robert Whittaker TKOing him in the second round is what I'm gonna go with. Man, just overall, just a great card. And for those of you who might not be aware, this fight is going to be taking place in Abu Dhabi prime time. For them, I believe is like 10 or so is when the card will start, 9 or 10. For us over here in America, depending on your time zone, for me it's going to be 1 o'clock p.m. I believe, which is interesting. I'm gonna have to work the night before and get up kind of early and prepare everything. Got some buddies of mine coming over. We're all gonna cook and watch the fights and shit. So that's gonna be very interesting. This not often. I believe the last time that Khabib fought Poirier, I want to say it was the exact same thing. Khabib's a big fucking deal over just around the world, actually. He's right there with Conor as far as globally. The dude is a big deal, and I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting watching this so early, man. But that's pretty much it for the fights, man. It's a pretty good card. Also on the prelims, we do have Stefan Struve fighting. I'm a big Stefan Struve guy. I think he's lost his last 3, but I'm gonna be rooting for him on the prelims. I think they had a lot of the prelims. I'm sorry, but I can't remember who he's fighting. But I do want to see him pull one out. He had retired a while back, and they typically do this, man. They say that they're retired, and then they come back, and you just never know with these UFC fighters, man. It's kind of a sad story, because this is not a sport where you could be half in, half out. Because if you are, you're going to lose in the end. It's not going to end well for you. So that's always an issue, and that starts with fighter pay, man. Some guys, not everybody makes the Conor McGregor, the Khabib, the Israel Adesanya, and guys like that type of money. A lot of these guys are, struggling from fight to fight. Some of these motherfuckers actually have a second job, and I'm not just talking about Stipe. Stipe makes money. Don't get me wrong. He's a firefighter and all, and he does that just because he really wants to, not because he has to. But there's motherfuckers, fighting on the prelims that have second jobs, like working at motherfucking Texas Roadhouse and shit. Fucking bringing fucking bread to everybody. That's kind of sad to see. But it's a growing sport. Things on the up for the sport too. So I eventually I could see fighter pay increasing, and hopefully, man, because there's no reason a guy fighting in the UFC, the greatest MMA brand in the world, there's no reason why a guy fighting in our sport should be our sport. A guy fighting in the UFC should not have a second job, not unless he wants to, like Stipe. But he shouldn't financially need a second job. That's just crazy to me. But depending on how you look at it, also, I mean, Dana White has made it very clear, not long ago actually, that The UFC is not a career. It is a chance. You have a chance to become a McGregor. You have a chance to become an Israel Adesanya. You have a chance to be a Khabib. But none of that is guaranteed. This is just an opportunity for you to reach those heights. And some do and some don't. And that's unfortunate, but hey, that's the name of the game, I guess. But again, oh man, overall, this fucking card is stacked. I don't see how, if you're a fight fan, how you're not excited about this card. I've been waiting for this for quite some fucking time. We're gonna transition a little bit into some football. As you can see, rocking my Drew Brees jersey, although it is time for him to retire. He does not look the same at all. I'm sorry. I'm a Saints fan, but I am also non-biased. I'm pretty straight up when it comes to my opinion about even my teams that I fanboy over. And it is just time for Drew to retire, man. It's sad. We keep finding a way to win, though. We keep finding a fucking way to win, and that's interesting. Shows you how well coached these guys are with Sean and stuff. Because man, it's on both sides of the football, we really haven't really looked well. The defense is just, oh my goodness, it's really hard to watch, to be honest with you. As a Saints fan, it is really hard to watch, and it's surprising to me because I was really looking forward to seeing this defense this year. The last few years, our defense has been pretty fucking legit, and we signed Malcolm Jenkins during the off season. I thought maybe Davenport another year in would take another step forward in his progression. I just thought for sure, man, this defense would step up and be a lot better. I had my kind of doubts about Drew coming into this season. I said this probably about 3 years ago, and I'm pretty much right on time with it, I believe. I said that the year that we lost to the Vikings in the playoffs with the Minnesota Miracle, which was bullshit. I said then that I believe we have a roughly 3-year window with Drew to try to get him another ring. So obviously I was including that year. I included the year after that with when we lost to the Rams with that blown fucking call. It is hard being a fucking Saints fan. And then last year, against Minnesota again, came down to the wire for all those games, and just heartbreaking loss, man. Heartbreaking loss after heartbreaking loss after heartbreaking loss. 3 years in a fucking row. So I thought that was our window. And I thought like there was a chance maybe of this year, but I wasn't as hyped up about this year's offense. The offense this year, like I was the previous years, because I've been seeing some decline in Drew. He cannot throw the deep ball consistently. I want to make that clear. Yes, you give any NFL quarterback a clean pocket and a wide open receiver to throw to, yeah, of course he can get the ball to him. The fact is, the old Drew Brees could, throw it 50 yards downfield, pinpoint accuracy, on a consistent basis. We're just not seeing that anymore. And I'm really hoping that Drew does decide to hang it up after this year, because it's kind of hurting his image at this point to me. It's kind of sad to see, and I just don't realistically see us having a chance of winning a Super Bowl this year, unless for some reason things change. But I mean, we're 7 games in, I believe, and it's been the same since pretty much week 1. I don't see anyway that we even really contend for a Super Bowl. We'll make the playoffs, I believe. We'll battle it out with Tampa for that division spot, and even if we don't get it, I think we can still slide in, especially with the new added team to the playoffs. So I could see us getting in. Maybe we depending on who we get matched up with, maybe we get one game. But ultimately, it's gonna be the same fucking ending like it has been, and hopefully not a heartbreaking ending. I hate when they give us a fucking chance to just even kind of think that we have a chance to win the Super Bowl. They give us little glimpse, and then they teeter us all the way through the game, and then at the very fucking end, they fucking choke. That's disappointing as a Saints fan. But with that being said, let's get into some of this week's games. If you're, I don't know when this is gonna actually come out, but today is Thursday, and we do have a Thursday night football game. Today we have the Giants versus the Eagles. Two fucking teams in a shit division. This does nothing for anything for the season. But the Eagles is tricky though, because they do things like this where they'll look so bad, and then next thing you know, they just start stringing together a few wins, and that's what it kind of seems like they've been doing the last few weeks. They seem to have found their way, I guess. Carson Wentz is playing a lot better the last few weeks. I'm going to go with the Eagles taking this one tonight. But again, who cares? Neither one of these teams are going anywhere. That division is just, it's pretty pathetic. Easily the worst division in the entire league. I don't understand how, because the thing is with that division is this, it's got a lot of talent in it. Both the Eagles and the Cowboys, at least, they have a lot of talent. As hard as that is for me to admit about the Cowboys, I'm not understanding why that talent is not translating into wins, especially for the Cowboys. Dude, their offense is so goddamn stacked. And I know they lost Dak Prescott a few weeks ago. But even before that, they just I don't know what it is. It has to be coaching. I really do think it has to be coaching, because it just seems like they're never ready to play straight out of the gate. They always fall behind in the beginning, and then once the defense kind of starts to relax a little and keep everything in front of them, that's when you'll see them start rallying and putting up some points, and throwing for a lot of empty, I call it like Shannon Sharp says, a lot of empty calorie yards. So that's you gotta put that on coaching. That's the only thing that I could think of, because they are talented. Even without Dak, you arguably have the best backup quarterback in the NFL with Andy Dalton. He was a starter for a while, and he did have some pretty good seasons. It's not like he's a bum, and with all that talent around him, he should still find a way to be successful with that offense. I truly believe it has to be coaching. Now, on the defensive end, their front seven, as far as talent goes, has to be up there with pretty much any fucking other defense in the league. The secondary is very suspect, and I understand that. But when you have all that talent that you have on that front seven, there's no reason why they shouldn't, better kind of level out the lack of play from the secondary, because you figure with a great front seven, if they get pressure to the quarterback, that's less time that those guys have to cover. Increasing your odds to cover anything downfield. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. They just have all this talent and they just cannot do anything with it, and that's got to be on coaching. And I assumed from going from fucking Coach Clapp, Jason Garrett, to Mike McCarthy, who, I understand he had Aaron Rodgers, but did win a Super Bowl and does, have a winning record overall. I felt like he was a pretty good coach. So you would have thought, all those 8-8 seasons with Jason Garrett, you still got all this talent. You bring in a new coach that has won a Super Bowl and has a lot of experience, and gonna bring a whole new culture to the team. You figure that would translate into wins this year, but it just has not, and it's crazy. I personally enjoy it because I cannot stand the fucking Cowboys, but I mean it's fair is fair. I just have to call it what I'm seeing. How do you have that much talent and suck? I don't understand. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but to me, that's coaching. But moving on, we'll go ahead and go through the rest of the week. Starting with Sunday, we have the Bills versus the Jets. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bills in that game because the Jets are just absolutely pathetic. They can't do anything right. They have all over the field. It's just complete ass. They're just, I don't see them winning a game this year. That's got to be one of the worst teams I've seen in a very fucking long time. It looks like they're not even trying to win, to be honest with you. We do have the Cowboys versus the Washington football team. That's gay as shit. I do see the Cowboys winning this game. I mean, they're due for a win. And Washington's not a fucking good team either. So I'm going to take the Cowboys, but I would not be surprised if they find a way to lose this game. They always do. Moving on, we have the Lions versus the Falcons. Two mediocre teams. The Falcons always find a way to fucking blow leads. Surprising enough, they was able to hold on to their lead last week. But that's another team with a lot of talent and finds a way to still be ass. Dude, their offense is right there with anybody as far as talent. How the hell are y'all losing? Again, that has to be coaching. And I know they fired their coach Dan Quinn, who this is what's kind of crazy to me about the Falcons and Dan Quinn. We already knew they had all this talent on offense with the Julios and Matt Ryan and what's the other little receiver that they got from Alabama? I can't remember his name at the moment, but so much fucking talent on that offense. We knew the offense was good, and typically, what seems to be a good formula is having that offense be so great, and then bringing in like a defensive-minded head coach to kind of help out the other side of the field. And it just has not worked out for Dan Quinn in Atlanta. It just hasn't. All starting from that year with they went to the Super Bowl, and his terrible decision making towards the end of that game. So clearly, it's a pattern. These teams with so much talent find a way to lose. It has to be coaching. what other reason can you mark it up to? Just shit luck every single fucking time? No, it has to be coaching. I don't know how else you could argue against it. But anyways, so I'm gonna, long story short, I'm gonna go with the Falcons to win that game. Then we have the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. This is a fun one. Two very high-powered offenses. Seahawks with Russell Wilson, I think, is the second best quarterback in the league, right behind Patrick Mahomes. And you got a young gunslinger in Kyler Murray, who, man, to be honest with you, I didn't think he was going to translate into the NFL, but he has proven me wrong. And I'm glad he is, because I have him in fantasy. So that's always a plus for me. This is just a battle of two really good offenses. The Cardinals have a little bit better defense than the Seahawks. Seahawks defense is pretty fucking trash, but their offense always, makes up for it. Although their defense has played a little bit better over the last few weeks, so not gonna give them too much shit about that. I do see this being a very high-scoring game, though. Like, somewhere around, like, I would, if I had to give a prediction for the exact score, I would go with Seahawks taking it 38-35. Maybe like a late game field goal over the Cardinals. But that's going to be a hell of a game to look out for this week. I think that's probably, I'm going through the list right now, that looks to be probably the most entertaining game on the schedule this week. But ultimately, I'm going to take the Seahawks to win. Moving on, we have the Jags versus the Chargers. Hey, who gives a fuck? I mean, the only thing that is kind of interesting to watch is to see the progression of Justin Herbert for the Chargers. That's something that's taking place right now that I'm interested to see his growth. He looks so good so far, man. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how his future holds up. And I do have him in a fantasy football league as well. So hopefully he does me well this week against those Jags. And then we got the Bucs versus the Raiders. What is going on with the Raiders? Like, I mean, kind of goes back to what I said about the Cowboys and the Falcons and shit like that. It's coaching. I mean, I hate to keep bringing this shit up, but in the NFL, coaching matters more so than probably any other sport in the world. Because the Raiders, on opposite of the Cowboys in Atlanta, I mean, they don't have like piss poor talent, but they're not like the most talented team in the league either. So, but they keep finding a way to win, including against my Saints, which I did not see happening. Did not see that coming at all. But they keep finding a way to freaking win. That is coaching. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, how you can't tell me that Raiders team is more talented than the Cowboys or Atlanta. Like, you're not going to convince anybody of that. But they keep finding a way to win, and that's because of John Gruden. So I'm going to give him credit for that. But you have the GOAT standing across the field from you, Tom Brady, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who seem to have kind of figured it out. A very rough start to the season. They didn't get, all the preseason games to kind of work out the kinks. And then on top of that, they've had some injuries and, just some shit luck. But it seems like that they have figured it out. So at least that's the way it looked last week against Green Bay. Or was that chalked up to maybe Green Bay isn't as good as we thought they were. That remains to be seen. I mean, they've only lost one game so far. So, I don't know. But I'm going to take the Buccaneers to win this game this week. Then we got my Saints versus the Panthers. You never know with division games because they know each other so well. But, I mean, I just don't see a way that the Panthers win this game. I just think we're better than them in pretty much every statistical category. No Christian McCaffrey again this week, but that, I mean, it matters, of course, because I do think Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league. But that Mike Davis guy has really stepped up and produced. So the McCaffrey loss is not as devastating as one would have assumed it would have been because, as you may recall, McCaffrey is that entire fucking offense. Running the ball, catching the ball, dude, that's what's kind of crazy to me is how do you not figure out a way to stop this guy? Every single play, you know that is the first read. That is where they want to go. You got to stop him. Make somebody else beat you. But regardless, like he's not playing this week. Mike Davis has done a great job of stepping up, but I'm going to stick with my Saints this week to pull this one out. Then we got the Browns versus the Bengals. Last time these two faced each other, the Bengals were able to upset the Browns. And my boy Joe Burrow had his best game of the season. So shout out to Joe. As much as I want him to win another one against the Browns, because I'm starting not to like Baker Mayfield. I kind of liked him in college, but since he's gone to the NFL, and I guess maybe he has more of a public eye on him, I just do not like this dude at all. So as much as I would like to see Joe Burrow stick it to him again, I'm going to go with the Browns to win this game this week. Then we got the Packers versus the Texans. Now, much like that Seahawks versus Cardinals game, this too has the potential to be a very entertaining ball game. I do like the Packers in this one just because the Texans defense is just atrocious. So I do think Aaron Rodgers bounced back after that piss poor performance that he put on against Tampa last week, and I think the Packers will come out on top of this one. I do see it being another high-scoring game, much like I said the Seahawks and Cardinals would be, easily in the 30s. The Packers have just a little bit better of a defense, I believe, and I just think they'll find a way to win. I don't see Aaron Rodgers playing like that 2 weeks in a row. So another game to kind of keep your eyes out for. Very entertaining matchup this week. We also got the Steelers versus the Titans. Man, the Steelers, they look to be Super Bowl bound. And I know it's early. But they are still undefeated, and they just are putting it on everybody. I like what I'm seeing from them. I mean, and I shouldn't say that I'm surprised because going back to last season, that defense looked so fucking good last year, and they were finding ways to win even without Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, they were finding ways to win with fucking Mason Rudolph. I mean, and I loved Mason Rudolph coming out of college. I think I was like the only one who thought he was going to be good, and I was wrong. But whatever. They were finding ways to win with him though, finding ways to win with him as a quarterback. And so you add Big Ben back into the mix, and yeah, I understand he's getting a little older, but he's still got, he could still play. He is not at the end of his career yet. He's training there, but it's not there yet. And they are legit a Super Bowl contender. Damn the Ravens, the Chiefs, and then on the other side, you do have the Packers. You do have. I'm not gonna count out Tampa with the Goats, and the Seahawks can make it interesting, and the 49ers, if they could ever get healthy, that could be a possibility too. But anyways, I'm gonna go with the Steelers beating the Titans this week. The Titans are just they live and die off of Derrick Henry. The Steelers, I want to say, are number one run defense. If they're not number one, they're probably number two run defense. And I just feel like they're going to, force the Titans to beat them with Ryan Tannehill. All props to Tannehill. He has looked phenomenal. Actually, dating back till last year, whenever he took over the starting position, he's been looking pretty fucking good, and especially in fantasy football, I've been using him in fantasy. I wouldn't recommend starting him this week against that bad Steelers defense, bad as in good Steelers defense. But he has looked great or good, I'd say, since taking over that starting position. But I just don't. I feel like if the Steelers force Tannehill to have to beat them, that the Steelers their defense is just way too good. I think they'll find a way to get this one done. Moving on, we have the Chiefs versus the Broncos. This one's going to be very short and simple. I'm never picking against Patrick Mahomes. The Broncos do have a pretty good defense, and it is a division game, so you never know, and but I can't find a way to pick against Patrick Mahomes. This dude is so fucking good, man, and I wish people. I guess people do give him his props, but I don't think people understand the level of greatness we are watching right now. This dude is the absolute next generation of quarterbacks. Can do everything. From precision to throw power to the ability to scramble to creativity to just when everything breaks down, just be able to go backyard football and fucking find a way to make a play. No matter the situation, dude, I don't care if it's 3rd and 25. The dude finds a fucking way to pick up that first down or to score. It's amazing watching him. You are never out of the game when he is playing quarterback for you. So I can't see myself ever really picking against the Chiefs. Not to say that they can't lose, because it's very rare that we see a team go undefeated or anything, and they've already lost to the Raiders, and they've had some close games against the Chargers and stuff. But I can't pick against them. I just won't do it. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs beating the Broncos this week. We got the 49ers versus the Patriots. Battle of two really great head coaches with Kyle Shanahan and Bill Belichick. This has been an interesting season for Belichick, because it's I don't want to put too much into it. I don't want to say that it looks like Brady made Belichick, because obviously I think they both needed each other. But he's not making a great case for himself this year, at least, because I understand you had Tom Brady for all those years, but you do have Cam Newton right now, and that's gotta mean something. That he is a former MVP. he did play in a Super Bowl. He is very talented. I just expect Bill to still find a way to be, more productive with this team, especially on the defensive end. I didn't expect them to come out and score 30 points a fucking week, but I definitely expected that defense to be a lot better than it has been this year. It's not to say it's been bad, but it's just not that elite level defense that we expected them to be this year. I expected their defense to be, float around that 1 to 3 ranking as far as overall defense and have enough offense to find a way to win. Didn't expect them to win a Super Bowl or anything, but definitely win the division and obviously make the playoffs and make it interesting. But it just doesn't appear like that's the case this year. I think both the Bills and Miami look better than them. So I'm not sure how much stock to really put into the way the Patriots have looked this year. Because I do think Bill is the greatest coach of all time. But at the same time, I do feel like in order for him to have this success that he had before, it's he had to have a Tom Brady. They needed each other. It's not like one carried the other. They both had to come together, and that's how this dynasty was able to sustain itself for all these years, which is incredible. And I don't know if we'll ever see anything quite like it. Maybe the Chiefs, depending on how long Andy Reid decides to stick around for, and assuming Patrick Mahomes stays healthy throughout his career. But other than that, you're talking about what, 20 years of being right there or winning it all. That I don't know if you're gonna see that again. Do not know if you're gonna see that again. And then lastly, for Monday Night Football, we have the Bears versus the Rams. Bears versus the Rams. The fucking Bears, man, they keep fucking finding a way to win, huh? Jesus Christ. That's probably the most surprising team in the league for me this year is them. Of course, we always expect their defense to be good, but their offense is not bad either. They keep fucking finding a way to win. Although, I do not think they're going to win this week against the Rams. I am going to take the Rams to win. I love Sean McVay. Reminds me a lot of Sean Payton in some ways. So I'm going to go with the Rams to take that one on Monday Night Football. And that's it for all this week's games, man. Really excited about this weekend. This is a great weekend for fights. It's a great weekend for football. I didn't really get into a lot of the college football this week. We're already kind of nearing that hour mark, which is where I typically want to start capping these podcasts off at. So I didn't really get into too much college football, but we'll dive into some of the bigger games coming up soon in future podcasts and stuff. I just want to take the time to thank everybody for listening. This was very nerve-wracking, to say the least. This is my very first one, and it's only up from here, I believe. As the more comfortable I get, the better quality I could provide. I really wanted to do this, man, and I'm so glad I did. Money well worth spent. So just let me know, man. If you enjoyed it, hit me in the comments section. If you didn't like it, let me know. Still, I am all for constructive criticism. So leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think I can do to improve besides quality and shit like that, because I do plan on providing more quality. You know, I want to put me like a little a banner in the background. You know, I want to get better at, you know, editing my videos, make them like stand out more and shit like that. Upgrade mics, video camera, and all that good shit. You know, that's all, you know, part of that's also in the works already. So if that's what you're gonna comment, then you know you're wasting time with that. I want to know, as far as the show itself, how can I improve this and make this a more enjoyable experience for you, the fans, and the listeners, whatever you want to call yourselves. But if you can, if you do like it, like and subscribe. That way you can see every video that I upload. You'll get a notification for that if you hit that little bell down underneath the video. And I guess that's it, man. That's it for this week. I hope everyone stays safe and has a great weekend. Enjoy some fights, enjoy some football, and just everybody take care. Thank you guys for listening. I'm out.